everyone, how's it going? This is Alpha HD Gaming and welcome back for another race in this F1 2014 career mode. As you might have gathered from the intro to this video, we did win in Monaco, so it's our first win in a Williams. And here we are in practice at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada, Montreal. As you can see, we've done about 9 laps already on these prime tyres, so we've done quite a lot of laps because we need to get the setup work done in the car. So we did a 1 minute 16.349, which is good enough for third place. We didn't actually run the soft tyres, the option tyres in the practice session. Rosberg was, I think, also running the primes. He's done a 1 minute 15.722, which is a very quick lap time. But see, we're also on lap number 9 of our run. We're actually up on our previous time. I don't know how much we are up on the on our fastest time, but that corner we just come out of there is a very difficult corner for traction on this track, and so this one, it's easy to cut the left-hand side of it, very easy if you don't get the turn in, if you understeer a bit. And you can also lose the back end a bit coming out of that corner. When you're coming down this hairpin is very, very, very important, because if you don't get the good traction, if you don't get out this corner quick enough, then you'll be a sitting duck coming down the DRS straight on this track. You can see we're 2 tenths up on our fastest time. We've actually lost a bit of time, I think, there, but we're aiming to go a little bit faster, and the DRS is now open. Coming down to the chicane with the wall of champions, very, very easy to get this wrong as well. So if you take too much to the corner here, you can end up in that wall. You just got to kind of feed the car through the middle of it, and be careful of traction as you come out of that. Towards the line, keep yourself to the right hand side. We've done a 1 minute 16.220, which is good enough for second place. Still half a second down on Rosberg, but faster than Fernando Alonso, so that's good news. So we are still competitive around this track. As you can see, we're skipping to the end of the session now. That isn't probably going to be the setup we use in qualifying. We might change it a little bit again, but we've changed the engine so we can get some more performance down the straights, because there's very long straights in this track. So we are going to be using that in the qualifying session. We actually finished third in practice. Well, we'll get into the car now, and we are going to go for qualifying. This is qualifying 1, and again, I think we're going to use the prime tyres. There is some rain forecast for this qualifying session, so. How that goes, I do not know. We're going to see. We're going to see how we do in the wet qualifying. So we're starting our flying lap here, and we've got the DRS up, coming down the main straight. Some traffic up ahead. Don't know if that's going to hold us up much, but we've done a 1 minute 16.495 on the first of our flying laps. Our second flying lap, sorry. A Red Bull emerges from the pit lane on our left-hand side there, and can't really tell what the car is. I think it's Kobayashi. It's Caterham ahead of us, so we've just got to be wary of if he holds up a little bit, so we don't want to lose too much time behind him. We'll be getting a bit of this dirty air as we come into this section now. So it's down to second gear, get yourself turned in with that left hand curb. The back end can step out, and also when you put your foot down here, the traction will be a bit loose. So that's where the AI will have an advantage, and any of the better cars as well. So third gear, take a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Be careful as you're accelerating out that corner there, out that chicane. So Kobayashi's given us a little bit of a tow, but I don't know if he's going to hold us up on this lap. I don't think he will. So we're going to get nicely tucked in behind him, which is going to be brilliant for down this straight. So we will get some time off him here. Come on, let's get the slipstream off him. So DRS open. We're going to fly past Kobayashi before the final chicane. Being a little bit careful going on the left. So third gear, clip the right hand side, clip the left. Fourth gear. Towards the finish line. What is it going to be? What is it going to be? So 1 minute 16.282, which isn't actually better than practice. It's like about the same time, so we were pretty much on the limit in practice as well, it can seem. So 1 minute 16.282, that's pretty quick. I mean, it's not going to see us going out. So we come into the pit lane, and we're going to box the car, and hopefully the 1:16.2 is going to be good enough. I think it will. I don't think it's going to be a slow time. That it's pretty competitive. There was a little bit more. I mean, we could have probably done a 16 dead from some on practice runs, which I had to back out of. I knew there was a couple more attempts to the car, but there's the rain. And Felipe's finished a little bit ahead of us, a tiny little bit, and I think Hamilton maybe got first. Yeah, there we go. So you can see everyone in the top 10's on primes. Only Vern and Kvyat are on the options, and the rain has come. So it's going to be a very interesting qualifying 2 session coming up. Don't be fooled by those intermediate tyres that are parked next to my car, because it is absolutely chucking down out there on the track. So the intermediates, if I went out on them, we'd just be basically sliding all over the place. As you can see, buckets of rain coming off the tyres, water everywhere. down to third gear, just seeing if the car will turn in here. So this is pretty much an exploratory lap. This is the first flying lap, I think, this time. And you can see that the AI have stayed in the pit, so I don't know why. So we were just going around and see what time we could do. So it's very, very wet. Probably the worst conditions other than China that we've seen this season. So if you've seen the China race, you'll know just how bad it was around there. It's absolutely soaking. So got to be very, very careful. Good to use a lot of lean mix around this lap, and probably should have gone lean in that corner or standard, but because we're getting a lot of wheel spin, we will go lean here, I'm sure. Yeah, because the traction around this corner is absolutely abominable. It's just horrible. Coming out this corner in the second and third gears, you can see the car trying to step away quite a lot of times. I said I've tried short shift and all sorts of things in the wet weather on this game, and it just doesn't seem to make a lot of difference. So you just got to kind of control the slides as best you can. So coming down this straight, rich mix now, and what have we got? We've got a 52. I don't know how good that is in terms of lap time. It's well off what we were doing in the dry, obviously, because we're well off. I think we're about 10 seconds off, maybe. So coming down this straight, we actually get a pretty good exit out the hairpin there. So it's a pretty decent exit. So it should be a quite competitive lap time. I don't think it's going to be setting the world alight though. So up to 8th gear. Be very careful for the chicane coming to the final corner. So you got a lot of understeer there as we turned in. The car just started to skate off. What have we got? It's a 1 minute 25.673. So that's not kind of I mean, the AI was setting the AI, I don't know what they were setting on this session, but we're going to see in a second. But pretty much 25s, 24s is probably what you can get out of this car in this session. It's just that they're so wet, but you see the Mercedes and the Red Bulls managed to get into the 23s and 24s, so that's their performance advantage. And anybody else who went out later in the session ends up with a 1 minute 29, 1 minute 27, 1 minute 26. Now, we're going to the final session, and because the AI was so competitive in terms of their qualifying pace in the wet, and in the wet in general, I just thought, well, you know what, I'm going to go out right at the end of the session, and I'm going to let them do their runs first and see what happens, because I just thought, well, we're not going to get any higher than the bottom half of the top 10, so I just thought, well, we're going to end up like 7th, 8th, 9th or 10th. But as we go past the pit lane, you can see on this lap that the AI have sat in the pit lane, and the track is actually drying out, so we just decided, well, we're going to leave it right to the end and see what happens when the track dries out and see if we can improve on our time, because it's pointless going out when it's absolutely sopping. And there's only 50 seconds left or so, and the AI have sat in the pit lane, and they're not going to get around for doing a lap now, so we're the only car on the track that's going to complete a lap. And in the first sector, we're pushing quite hard. It's not a particularly good lap. It's slower than our Q2 lap, but we're 3/10 up on Hamilton, so we're actually up on the time for pole position at this point. And I still wasn't expecting anything, because basically I knew the AI were very strong in the wet, and so I thought, well, that's just the first sector. The second and the third sector, they're always like dominant, and they always get a better time than you in the wet. So we'll have a look anyway. But we were 3/10 up in the first sector, and then finally in the second sector we actually lost a bit of time. So you can see we're nearly 700ths down, so 0.069. But coming out this chicane, out the hairpin at the bottom of the straight, I get a very, very good exit, and the car doesn't bog down or anything. It just gets going. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, we've got some grip coming for the final sector. And if I was doing a live commentary, you'd have heard my reaction at the time, which was absolutely, I was so shocked that we got a good result here, and what was going on. We're coming through the final corner, and I'm looking at the clock now, and I can see the clock's counting up towards 27, but it's not going to get there. So I'm thinking, we've got this. And as we cross the line, it's a 1 minute 26.9, which is nearly a second quicker than Hamilton. And I said, if I was the live commentary at the time, if I was recording it, I crossed the line, I was like, yes, get in, we've done this. So pole position in Canada, which I wasn't expecting at all, because I thought that Rosberg, for example, had a little bit more pace in the dry, and then when it became wet, then I just thought that we had no chance. So we got pole position in the wet because the AI sat in the pit lane. So we'll take it however it comes, but that's a great result, and it's our second pole position in a row, I think. We were low down the order in Spain, then we got pole in Monaco, and now we've got pole here. And I think we're going to be a competitive race car. It's just in the one lap pace, I think the AI are a little bit quicker than us, so there's going to be some defending going on, and it's going to be a very, very tense race all the way through. So we're getting in our car and we're sitting down, and you can see that's a teammate challenge. He's got 4 fastest laps over us. That's his biggest victory, and he's only outraced us once and out-qualified us once. Championship points, we've got 61 points more than him. And there's the grid. We're ahead of Hamilton. I'm going to show you the setup now. So 3-1 wings, 48.52 high and standard, 11.6 on the balance, 11.1, 11.1 on the suspension. The new engine 99%, and there's the toe and the camber, both the camber to the left and the toe to the right. So we're on pole position, and we're on the back of a win in Monaco, and that's the grid. You can see me just scrolling through it probably too quickly as usual. But we're going to go to the track, and we're going to see exactly what we can do in this race. So I was expecting maybe second row of the grid, at a push, second place for qualifying, maybe third or fourth, probably more realistically. But we'll go into the grid, and there's a Williams on the front row of the grid in Canada, with Lewis Hamilton alongside us, and then the 2 Red Bulls behind us after that. Felipe Massa in 11th place, our teammate. We're on the grid, we're angling our steering wheels to the right straight away, as you can see, because Hamilton's going to try and probably get a run on us. So 5 lights are there, and they're going out, and we're off, and we're going straight to the right to cover off Hamilton. If anybody else gets a good start, then they're going to probably sail up the inside of us, but we've covered Hamilton off, and you can see there's cars in our wing mirrors as we come into the first corner, but we've got the lead into the first corner, and we can hopefully pull away a little bit on the first lap, because these guys are going to really pressure us later on, I reckon. So I've gone to normal mix just to we start saving fuel straight away, because basically this track has got that long straight, and then the long start finish straight, which is going to use a lot of fuel if we keep on rich mix all the time. So Vettel has pulled away from Hamilton, but Hamilton's also just keeping up with him, and the rest of the pack, there's a little bit of a gap to them. So the front 3 cars, me, Vettel and Hamilton, have gone, and there's a gap to everybody else. So coming into the hairpin, we've got the Red Bull is stuck all over us at the minute. Like I said, I didn't expect to pull away from them very much, because they were very quick in qualifying. So we've still got a little bit of way to go with the car performance. Basically, we're still quite a low performing car in terms of the rest of the field. You see by our teammates' performance in this race and the last race, and probably the race before, he's just well off the pace. So we're kind of keeping up there higher than we should be, really. So I was pretty committed through that final chicane there, and we've still got Vettel stuck all over the back of us. A 1:22.1, so it's a pretty decent opening lap. Half a second to Vettel, and a further 8 tenths to Lewis Hamilton, but there's a 3-second gap near enough to Ricciardo after that. So there's a bit of a gap between the front 3 cars and the 4th place car. This corner's very easy to cut, that one there. If you go too far to the right, you can very easily cut it. And so this one's very easy to overshoot it and lock your brakes up and then wreck the exit, which makes you very, very vulnerable on the next straight. It's very easy to spin your wheels as well coming out of it, because of the traction of the car. So we've been working a lot on the traction of the car on this Williams, because it's one of its worst traits. But say 3rd gear for that corner, 3rd gear for that one, 4th gear for the next one. But we've been working on the traction, because that's where we're most vulnerable. We were alright with the high speed stuff. I think we're pretty much okay with that. It's just like coming out of here, for example, when we nail the throttle, the AI are nailing it, and we're not able to somehow get the exit that's as good as them. But we are working on that, and it is getting a bit better, which is I think shown in the next performances and this race as well. So coming down the straight, we have got enough grunt, I think, to keep ahead of that Red Bull. It's whether the Mercedes can get past us is another matter. I just think we've got enough power to hold off Sebastian Vettel at the moment, but that's without DRS, of course. I think it's going to be DRS enabled now, yep. So DRS is now enabled, so we're going to have to push even harder, because we don't have the benefit of the DRS, and the guys behind us, Vettel, Hamilton and Ricciardo, if you catch up to that train, will have the DRS. 2nd and 3rd place are definitely going to have DRS. Hamilton's just done a 16.2, so he's a bit faster than us in terms of fastest lap at the moment. We've improved by 2 tenths on that 16.6 at the moment, though. So yeah, it's very close. You can see Vettel in my right wing mirror. He's very, very close to us at the moment. So any mistakes we make are going to get punished. We're going to have to be very, very careful, and we're going to have to get a very good exit out of this hairpin here. We don't want to go too deep either. We don't want to overshoot the hairpin. So we get a pretty good exit. There's not much wheel spin, which has given us a little bit of a gap to Vettel. He's going to obviously have the DRS now, though, so we're rich, and we are in 7th gear, we're in 8th gear. I think we've got enough on the straight this time round. Obviously, Vettel's going to have to defend from Hamilton as well, though, because he's going to have the DRS. So yeah, you can lose the most time on this track, I think, in the corner, 1, 2, 3, about turn 4 or 5, the traction corner, and also there's the final chicane, I think, and there's a corner in the middle of that where you can lose a little bit of time, but I think it's the final chicane where you can lose a lot of time, and there's also this next corner coming up after this one. So once we get to the end of this straight, when we come down towards this corner, so second gear here, you can lose a lot of time if you get the entry to this corner and the exit wrong, because it's got a long straight after it. So it's nailing that corner. It's really important around this track. I'd also pretty much say nailing this corner, this next one coming up, because you can lose up to half a second if you get this one wrong. And obviously, if you get the hairpin at the bottom wrong, then you're going to lose a lot of time there as well, because your exit will be poor. So there's a few corners you can get away with a little bit, but some of them you've got to really be on it. Otherwise, the AI, especially on legendary mode, will just have you. They'll be overtaking you dead easily. You see, no DRS for us. I don't think he's close enough again, so we've got enough of a gap, just about enough. This race was so intense. This is the reason I don't do live commentaries, is it just really does affect my driving when I'm talking. So when I'm talking, I'm just not concentrating as much. And basically, if I did a live commentary, all you'd be hearing is the odd few words during a corner. Sorry, on a straight, not during a corner. But you'd hear the odd few words every so often, because I'll be concentrating so hard. Because every time I open my mouth, I seem to make a mistake. So it was so intense, this race. I had these two guys just following me, and you see that's me going too deep in that corner. You see Vettel's right on the back of me. We're not moving across to cover him off. It's basically we're just keeping our line, but he just hasn't got enough power coming down this straight to get past us. But yeah, it was very, very intense, because I had the two fastest cars. Well, two of the fastest cars on the track following me so closely. They just wouldn't. I couldn't shake them all. You see, at 2 tenths, and there's like 4 tenths between me, Vettel, and Hamilton, which is just crazy. As if either of them had sailed up the inside of me, which was very possible at this point, then I don't think I would have been able to defend them, because they were just quicker than me at this point. But we were quick enough in where it mattered. That's what was keeping us ahead. We were quick enough where it mattered coming out of that traction zone, the final straight, because other than that, they were just closing right up to us all the time in the rest of the lap. But I think some of the work we've done on the traction has really helped us out. Because I think if this was earlier in the season, when we were like in Malaysia and China, they would have just had me like a sitting duck. Because if you've watched the Malaysia race, you'll see in that corner at the bottom of the back straight, where it's just the traction nightmare. And as you come out of it, the AI just get a very good exit every time, and if you get it wrong even slightly, they can just fly past you on the back straight, and you have to defend into the final corner. We nail that corner very sweetly. The exit's a little bit of slip coming on the exit though. So down to second gear for this hairpin. If you take first, you can get around it. You turn a little bit better, but it makes the car a little bit more unstable. So second gear is probably the best gear for that corner, even though it is quite a slow hairpin. But you can see every time we get out of that final corner, we just seem to have enough in our car to keep ahead of these two. And the tyres were feeling pretty good. They were feeling pretty damn good. I don't think the tyre wear was too high around this track. But again, if you work on the car, it helps to obviously if you have lower traction, the wheel's going to be spinning more, and if you're sliding more, then it's going to affect the tyre wear. So if you work on the car and traction and making sure the car's not sliding as much as it sometimes does, then that's going to help your tyre wear always. So I don't think our team have been working too much on tyre wear, but I'll have a look at that stuff later on. But I think it's mainly been like braking. I mean, I think there was a little bit of work on tyre wear in one of the races, but braking was what they've been working on, which is pretty much what we don't want them to work on, because that's not a problem. I think they should be working on traction and everything else, and making the car have some more rear downforce. That would really help us. But I guess when we're the team leader, we'll get the choice of that. We'll tell the team what we want to do, whether we want to go aggressive or cautious on our development path. But I don't think it really gives you an option of what to choose, what like upgrades you want to choose, which is a bit disappointing, because if it was me and I was able to choose the upgrades I wanted the team to do, then I'd definitely be telling them to get some more rear downforce and work on the traction of the car, like suspension on the rear and things like that. Hopefully in F1 2015 that's the kind of thing they'll let us do. They'll let us choose what updates we want to put on the car, because some people have different driving styles and can deal with traction better, or can deal with a sliding car better. So they might want a really pointy on the edge car to drive with, so they can get their R&D path to go down that route, and that will be really fun. That will be something that would be really good in F1 2015 if they follow that. But you know, it's up to them what they put in the game, really. But we've just seen that Vettel and Hamilton have both pitted in at the same time. Ricciardo's still 3 seconds back, so we're holding the gap to him. I think some of the way the AI were keeping up with us was mainly down to the fact they had the slipstream and the DRS, so they were just able to cling on to us. But once you're out of that DRS, then we're doing pretty much similar lap times to Ricciardo. As you can see, he's only gained 2/10 to the middle sector, and Rosberg's a further 2.3 back. So the way those guys were hanging on was mainly from slipstream and from the DRS. If we'd broken that and got away, I think we might have just had a bit more of a gap, because it's a really powerful DRS around this track, and this is going to be the same in Austria as well. So we're going to have to hope to break away from the DRS in that track. But see, tyre wear's not too bad. We're doing 17.2, so that was a pretty slow lap. So we lost a bit of time, but bear in mind we've done more than half the race on these tyres now, on the super soft tyres, I think it is. So the tyre wear isn't too bad. Vettel's 17.6 back from us. The pit lane in this track is a pretty quick pit stop, because you just drive straight into it and straight back out. You come into it at high speed as well, so it's a pretty quick pit stop you do on this track, and you don't have to kind of change direction or anything. You just rejoin the track. So it does. The pit stops aren't very slow on this track, whereas compared to some other tracks like Monaco, where you've got to slow right down, then go around the first corner, the pit stop is a bit quicker. So a 10th up, so we were in the 17.2, so we're looking at a 17.1 at the minute. We're +1 on the pit stop, so I don't know when we're going to pit in, but as I said, the tyres were feeling pretty good. Yeah, we're pitting in now, because we've gone lean, so you can see that's the indicator we're coming in. So we've lost about half a second to Vettel, who's on his new fresh tyres, so we're just going to hope we come out ahead of him. We had a very small gap, but it depends how quick his pit stop was as well. And while his tyres were warming up, ours were at full temperature, so hopefully we're going to come out ahead of Vettel. If not, it's going to end up being a fight like in Monaco. So you can see that's Vettel on our right as we come out the pit lane, and where is he? Where is he? We're just ahead of him. We are just ahead of him. So we've got out probably half a second ahead of him there. It wasn't much in it. There was hardly anything. He's dragging Hamilton along still, and that's probably Ricciardo in 4th place, or maybe Rosberg. But see, we're a second ahead though, so we got out pretty okay there. I think we actually gained a bit of time, because Vettel was all over us in the first stint, and now we're a second ahead of him, so we gained a little bit of time, so that's good news. But now we've got cold tyres, and we have to be very careful on this outlap. It's coming into the hairpin now, second gear. We overshoot it a little bit, so we've got a little bit deep, which has allowed Vettel to get right up behind us. But because we went deep, we got a good exit, because we just pointed the car straight and got a really good exit out of the corner, which is going to help us down this straight. We lost a little bit of time, which has put Vettel within DRS, but he's been attacked by Hamilton, as you can see on the mini-map. So Hamilton's having a go at Vettel, which is going to help us, but one of them's gone really deep there into that final corner, into the final chicane. I think Vettel was defending and Hamilton backed out, so he 1 minute 18.4 for our first lap on the primes. It's basically status quo again. 0.651 ahead of Vettel and 0.6 ahead of Hamilton. Ricciardo 2.2 back. I have no idea how far back our teammate is. Well, you can see him on the mini-map just going past the yellow icon, but we've absolutely destroyed him and all the other midfield runners. It's the only cars that are keeping up with us right now are like Mercedes, Ferraris, Red Bulls. That's the only cars that are keeping up with us on this track. And we're in the Williams, which is, you know, like one of the 4th or 5th worst cars. I think maybe the 5th worst. Maybe it's the 5th best car. So we're doing pretty well around here. So can we get around this one right this time? We've still run a bit deep. It's just I'm not with these prime tyres. They're just not gripping as much when we're coming into that hairpin compared to the softs. The super soft. We're coming into that hairpin. It's basically overshooting it a little bit. But we've got a good exit, which has given us a good gap, and Vettel and Hamilton attacking each other again. And we should have improved on this lap time, even though we went a bit deep. It was a 1 minute 16.579, so we have improved. So like nearly 4/10 off our fastest lap on the super softs. 1.1 ahead of Vettel, and again Ricciardo's a little bit further back than that, with Hamilton just sticking to Vettel as well. See, we're still able to do our fuel saving and be comfortably in the lead at the moment. But the guys just behind this train, just behind the first 3 cars, are now starting to catch up a little bit. So we're not quite as quick as the AI on the primes at the minute. So we have to step up our game a little bit. But I am pushing very hard already. So the car just might not be fast enough this weekend against these guys in the top tier cars, in the Ferraris, the Red Bulls, the Mercedes. You can see there's like another 3 cars or so ready to join the trainer cars, but remember, we don't have DRS, which is really kind of a disadvantage, whereas these guys are dragging each other along with DRS behind us, which is in turn dragging them closer towards the battle. So you've got those 2 behind me. You've got Vettel now pushing Hamilton along, and then you've got the other 3 cars. You've got Ricciardo and probably Alonso and Raikkonen pulling each other along as well into the battle. So you can see there they're pulling each other along using the DRS and slipstream, which we haven't had the entire race so far. So we're the one punching the hole in the air in front of everybody else, and then anybody else who gets behind us is getting an advantage because their car's accelerating a lot quicker and getting more top speed. But in turn, that's actually pulled us away from everybody else on the track. So these front cars, we've got a massive gap between us and like 6th place. It's just so big at the moment. We're only on lap 13, and I can't remember how big it was at the end, but it's a pretty big gap between us and the midfield cars. So we are doing we have got a pretty good pace at the moment. So I went a little bit to the inside there just to try and keep Hamilton out my slipstream. You can see he's a lot quicker than Vettel now. He's got clear of Vettel. We've got a pretty messy exit from that corner. Hamilton's still not close enough, I don't think. So we go to lean because we feel comfortable enough, but we run a little bit deep, and you can see the mirrors now are filling up with Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes. I was concentrating so hard at this point, just trying not to make a mistake, just making sure I didn't hand this victory to Hamilton because there's only like a few laps left, and I didn't want all this hard work to go out the window with me making one mistake on a traction zone, and letting Hamilton just go sailing past me and just winning the race. We've done all this hard work, go a little bit deep there, so we cut that corner a little bit, which has given us a poor exit for the next corner, and which has put Hamilton even closer to us. We still feel comfortable to go lean mix because I think as long as we get a good exit out of here, we might be okay. You see, when we actually exit that corner, we get a very good exit again, which has given us a little bit of a gap to Hamilton. He's definitely going to get some more slipstream this time, but we've gone to the right and he hasn't followed us, so his mistake. You can see he's closing right up to us into the final chicane, but not enough. And is he going to have a go down this straight? So Hamilton's close to us still, but yeah, we still feel comfortable enough to go lean. So I say by lap 15, you kind of know whether your car's got the performance in it to do this, and I say it was pretty much evident in the first laps of the race that we had a good exit from that corner, which pleased me because that corner was very important, and I say early in the season we probably would have struggled with it a lot more. So Vettel's actually dropped out of DRS from Hamilton, so hopefully we can pull away a little bit from him. We might just be saving his fuel a little bit, saving his tyres. So we've got a +1 lap of fuel still, so we're okay for fuel at the moment. That Mercedes is so close, and now Vettel's closed right up on him as well. So you can see we've got a train of 5 cars forming, but then there's a big gap to 6th place. And we've still got enough on Hamilton down here. We've been pretty committed through the final chicane as well. Hamilton's even more committed, and he's very, very close this lap. You can see him in the wing mirrors, and we're staying to the right. He backs out of it. He could have had a go at us in the first corner. Probably if that was me or another player, we would have had a go, but he backs out of it. So sorry, there's 6 cars in this train. There's me and another 5 cars, and then 7th place is a little bit further back. You see, it's very. I can't even see him in the wing. There he is. He's in the right wing mirror. So trying to be just see the wheels go over that corner a little bit on the left as well. We're pushing very hard because the AI are just carrying so much speed, especially Hamilton through that corner for that chicane. I think that's the point in the track where the AI have the advantage. They have an advantage in the coming in like turn 4 or 5, and they also have an advantage coming about turn 7, I think. I might be wrong. So we are on the penultimate lap coming up now. So entering lap 17, and we've still got a train of cars following us. It's been like this all race, and we're just holding them off just because of our exit on the hairpin. But now Ricciardo is now within 1.2 seconds of Vettel. And we're starting to have a little bit of slippery moment coming on that corner there. We've got to hold on for one more lap. We've just got to hold on, and this could be our 2nd victory of the season if we manage to just hang on for a few more corners. We've got dirt on our left tyre, which isn't going to help. Oh, it was just so intense. These guys just wouldn't back off. You see here, I run a little bit deep again. It's just, I'm having to go very late on the brakes just to keep these guys behind us. I was pretty much at this point just thinking, go away Hamilton, please leave me alone. Please let me win. I'm taking a different line for the chicane now, just try and carry more speed on the exit because he got very close last lap. And we're into the final lap now, and there's 1.2 or 1.3 seconds between the front 4 cars. It's so close. It's a little bit like the actual 2014 Grand Prix where it was so close at the finish, where cars were just overtaking all over the place. But we're hoping that's not going to happen because we want to win this race, and there's only a few more corners left. Can we get this one right? Yes, we do. But the exit's going to be important. Wheel spin, and we got a good exit actually. So Hamilton has dropped back a little bit, and we're running rich for the rest of the lap because we've still got 1 lap of fuel. We'll get this one right as well. Yes, we do. 4th gear. Come on. Come on. There's only a few corners left. In fact, there's only 2 corners left. Come on. Come into the hairpin. We have to slow it right down, and the back end's trying to get away from us. We finally get going again, and we've got a beautiful exit, which means that Hamilton's dropped right back, and so's Vettel. Which means we're heading towards victory. We are heading towards victory in Canada. We've just got to get this final chicane right. Let's not put it in the wall of champions as we come around the final corner. So round through the chicane. Let it run out to the right. Coming towards the finish line. 5th gear, 6th gear. Finish line's coming up. It's a 1 minute 16.6, and it's a victory in Canada. So it's the 2nd victory of the season for us in the Williams. And that's another 25 points, and we're closing on Nico Rosberg in the championship. And oh my god, that was intense. So there you go, we finished 0.6 ahead of Hamilton, 1.3 ahead of Vettel, 26 seconds ahead of our teammate. and 21 seconds ahead of Jensen Button. You can see the train of cars. Where was Kimi? So it was basically a Mercedes, 2 Red Bulls, Fernando Alonso and Nico Rosberg within 3.5 seconds of the lead. But oh my god, that was so intense. And the Drivers' Championship, we are only 11 points behind Nico Rosberg, and the engineers actually sounding excited for once. So we've closed right in on the championship, and we're ahead of Lewis Hamilton now. And here we are going to the podium to celebrate. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. You guys have been absolutely amazing again. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, and I'll see you soon in the next one.